Order up. The question is that the motion be agreed to. The Honourable Nanaia Mahuta.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. I want to take a brief call on this bill. Labor members participated in the Select Committee process, heard submissions, raised a number of questions throughout the duration and passage of the bill. And while we support the bill progressing, we do want to acknowledge that there are still a number of issues that are left unresolved. But let me kind of comment on the huge challenge of responding to the works required by many of these homes that will need repairs. And I have to say on the outset, we remain concerned that the government is not doing enough to invest in the trade sector so that we have enough people to be able to do the work required in the building industry. We have continued to promote greater investment in apprenticeships and trades training. We know that there will be significant pressures in both Auckland and Christchurch, and we remain concerned that the government is not taking a comprehensive approach to ensure that in the construction industry and certainly in the building sector we've got enough skilled people to be able to meet growing demand in the years to come. But let me come back to the bill. As I said earlier in my opening remarks, there are a number of issues that we want to highlight because there will be several affected homeowners who will be excluded by this package. It doesn't provide any solution to, for example, owners who are not found eligible under the Act, owners whose homes are more than 10 years old, owners who have already commenced their repairs, owners whose homes were signed off by private certifiers instead of councils will not be eligible for the 25% council contribution, owners that are unable to raise the remaining sum, and this will include many who simply can't afford to borrow their 50% contribution in the current economic climate. That is a significant burden and pressure on a wide number of families. They're also often the people that are most vulnerable and disadvantaged and have had the leaky homes problem. So that said, I know that the Minister specifically made comments on the issue of no Crown guarantee for bodies corporate, and he offered a response in that area. And some of the concerns that we have raised at the Select Committee and continue to hold is the fact that apartment owners are unlikely to benefit from the package because bodies corporate are not able to borrow the repair funds and levy owners for the loan repayments. This is largely because banks won't lend to them as they're unable to mortgage common property. Although some of the owners will have funds available and will be prepared to front up with them at the start of the project, there may be many owners who can't extend their mortgage. And I understand from colleagues that there was a fair bit of discussion about this, and it remains, again, a key concern. Another concern is that the bill doesn't require remediation work to restore homes to performance and durability compliance with the building code. For example, councils who will have a say in setting the scope of the remediation might insist on targeted repairs that remediate the worst problems, but don't necessarily bring the building up to code compliance. There are many buildings with severe weather tightness issues where it may be that the best option is to bowl the building over and sell the land or rebuild. And this package offers nothing for owners who are in that particular situation. So, Mr Speaker, we also think that speculators could take advantage of this. The bill doesn't differentiate between owners of leaky homes who need help and speculators who are going around buying up leaky homes at a very advantageous price, a low price. It's fair that a speculator who buys a property with the knowledge that it is a leaky home is eligible to get assistance under this package. Is that fair? We have concerns about that and think not. I understand that the Minister in former remarks has said that it is not fussed who fixes the homes, whether it's the homeowner or the speculator, and looking over to him to either confirm or deny that, and he says that you can't stop that. And if that is the case, if it's just about getting the houses fixed, then we want to raise this issue. Given the limited funds available for this and the fact that many affected homeowners are excluded from the scheme, it doesn't make sense to hand out taxpayer funds to speculators. The concern for us is that we want to stop the speculators while still not restricting those who may have unwittingly got into trouble due to, say, for example, a lack of disclosure by the vendor or agent of the status of the property that they were purchasing. Going to the issue of the ban on third-party claims, Labor is concerned with the proposed restrictions on people who are not parties to the contribution agreement, seeking to join the Crown or a local authority or other contributing party into a claim seeking contribution from them. It's a completely unjustified statutory removal of existing property rights. And there are two competing policy interests, we believe, here. The first one is the interest of the local authority and or the contributing party in achieving finality through making an agreed contribution to the repair of a leaky home under the scheme. The second is the interest of people who are not a party to that agreement having their legal rights to seek contribution or indemnity removed and potentially leaving them carrying a disproportionate burden. The present bill recognises the first interest at the complete expense of the second, and again we're saying that this doesn't make sense. So I want to come back to the key point in terms of the meeting the skills deficit, because I think you can't really discuss these issues without kind of asking the how or being able to respond to the how. And we are significantly concerned that the building industry in the current economic climate and with the current direction of the government has lacked the vision to continue to invest in the trade sector, and we will see the downfall of that lack of vision most significantly in meeting demand in both Auckland and Christchurch. We cannot stress enough that while this is a step towards addressing the issue of leaky homes, the bigger challenge is to be able to meet the skills deficit that we have in the country as well, so that these homes can be fixed properly and the job can be done well. Mr Speaker, our Select Committee members have, I think, made a valuable contribution to the working through of the number of issues that I've briefly touched on in this debate, but I know that in supporting this bill to go forward and address and identifying some of the key gaps, we want to ensure that the House continues to be informed about meeting the significant needs amongst a lot of homeowners in this sector. Kia ora koutou.